For this video, I've installed Unity's Universal 3D Sample project on my Nintendo Switch development device. I wanted to see what the performance would be like running the 4 scenes that make up the project, both in TV mode and handheld. I have a running FPS counter, as well as an average FPS at the end of each run. Just to quickly go over what I did to set up the project, I used the Universal 3D Sample project, which is available in the Unity Hub when you select Create New Project. Then in Unity itself, I added my own performance monitor script and imported the Nintendo SDK. I then built the development ROM after switching the project to Nintendo Switch by default, and then deployed it to the Switch using the Target Manager application. So I'm now on the Switch dev unit in TV mode. I'll start the project running. So it opens in the lobby scene, and from here I can visit the 3 other scenes. Frames per second initially is in the 40s, so quite good. Getting up to as high as 60 there. I'll first visit the cockpit scene, which is from the perspective of a spaceship. So I can look around. I can see straight away that the FPS is a solid 60. Looks very smooth. And it doesn't seem to drop at all below 60 FPS. So I can leave this scene now, go back to the lobby. So the next scene I'll open is called the Oasis scene. You can see straight away that the FPS is dropping significantly even before the scene is opened, probably because of the preview that you can see on the screen behind you now. So their FPS in the low 20s, touching 20 there. Still looks really nice. It's not as smooth as it could be. The water effect looks nice. Here the FPS is there at around 30, but now moving into the tent, seems to be increasing quite well into the 40s now. Yeah, so within the tent, there doesn't seem to be any performance issues. But then when we come out, it dropped back down to the low 20s. So now heading back to the lobby, and the final scene is the garden scene. This is my favorite in terms of aesthetics, with the trees, there's a bridge, running water, and different interior rooms. It looks like a Japanese garden. Performance at this point is as poor as the Oasis scene, perhaps worse. They were seeing a dip down to 15 FPS. Climbs up slightly now. It definitely doesn't like that perspective, going as low as 16 FPS. As with the Oasis scene, the interior performance is definitely better. You begin in the 40s for the FPS. It's only really when we're outside looking at the garden that the performance suffers. Okay, so back now to the lobby. So I can press a button on the Joy-Con and bring up a summary of the performance. It's just the uh, overall average FPS, which is 37 for the 4 scenes, including this lobby, which isn't too bad. So I've changed to handheld mode, started the project again. You can see that the FPS in the lobby is as good, if not better, than in TV mode. That's due to the handheld running in 720p rather than 1080p in TV mode. So going back into the cockpit scene, first of all. So it's running at 60 FPS as it was in TV mode. It looks just as good, looks just as smooth. There's no drop at all from the 60 FPS. So going back to the Oasis scene, as we saw in the TV mode, the FPS drops as soon as you start to see the preview of the scene ahead of you. So there's 14, 15, 16 FPS. I don't believe it went as low as this in TV mode, but it was certainly not much better in TV mode. the tent, the FPS does improve, the performance improves as it did in TV mode. And there's no perceptible difference here. Perhaps it does drop slightly faster than it did in TV mode when you're coming out of the tent. And now, yeah, we're seeing quite a big drop. I think in the TV mode it was certainly mid-20s here. So we'll head now to the garden scene. So quite a significant drop in FPS there. Seems to improve when you head towards the waterfall. And then again, when you head towards the interior rooms, the FPS does improve quite significantly, as it did in the TV mode. Here we're seeing in the 40s. As soon as you get a glimpse of the garden, though, it does drop. Just focusing in the room, then, well, it touched 50 FPS there. Okay, so heading back to the lobby, we can then get a performance summary. Yeah, so the performance summary for handheld is 34 FPS for all the 4 scenes combined, which, as with TV mode, isn't too bad.